Okay. So far on our beverage catalog, we've created a scroll view to hold our vertical stack view with an image, a label, and two horizontal stack views with labels indicating some information about the beverage that we're displaying on the screen. So now what we're going to do is make an adjustment to the stack view and then set some constraints that are different depending on what device and orientation we're looking at. So first, let's click on our stack view. For the purposes of this design, I would like my spacing to be a little different than it is. And the best way to see that is going to be on this iPad right here, right now. So right now my alignment is leading, which means that everything is on the left edge. We could also do trailing. Come on, come on. What is going on? All right. So I think preview's having a moment. But you can look here at where our stack view is placed, and you can see that these labels here are now on the right, or trailing for left to right languages, edge of our view. I think for our purposes, we are going to center them for now. So now everything will appear in the middle. We can also change the distribution vertically of how the views are spaced. Currently, we're filling the space. Fill equally. You would then see that each individual label takes up as much vertical space as everything else, which is a bit weird when you have a large image, right, and these relatively small labels. So we're not going to do that. We could do fill proportionally, which looks relatively nice. And so each of these fills an amount of the screen proportionate with its height and the space it takes up. We could do equal spacing, which indicates that all these spaces will be the same, and equal centering, which is going to set it so that the center of each view is the same distance from all of the other centers, which is why this view is so close to the image and everything else is so far apart. We'll stick with fill for now. So it's time to start setting things up so that different views look good on different devices. First, let's talk a little bit about these devices that are higher than they are wide. We have two types of height and two types of width in iOS. The bigger one is called regular, and the smaller one is called compact. So on an iPhone 11 here, you see WCHR in this description. That means that the width is compact and the height is regular. Now, if we were to orient it in a landscape orientation, you would see that the width is now regular and the height is compact. And on an iPad, the width and the height are both regular. So, for any vertically oriented device that we'll be looking at right now, our height is going to be regular. And on those devices, we want the image to be as wide as the screen, because if the screen is longer than it is wide, then that way you can see the whole image. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to set this up so it's vertical, and then we're going to click this button right here, Vary for Traits. We're going to check height, because what we're doing right now is we're setting a trait for when the height is regular. Okay, so then we click off of this, and this will remain blue as long as we're varying for a specific trait. I'm going to go to the beverage image view and control drag to the root view. I'm going to click on equal widths, but I know that right now it's not going to give me an equal width. It's going to put a constraint in for whatever the multiplier is right now for the width, which is what you see right here. It says stack view dot width. Wait. This is from our stack view being set to twice the width of the frame layout earlier. But our beverage image width, because the stack view was set to that, received the same multiplier as the stack view. So it thinks it's supposed to be 2.18357 times the width of the device right now. And that's not what we want. We want it to be 1 time the width of the device. Okay, so we're going to hit enter on that. And now we're going to click Done Varying. Now I want you to notice something about the way that the views have changed. Here on our our portrait orientation of our iPhone 11, you see that the image is the width of the screen. But also down below on our iPad, you see that the image is now the width of the screen. Currently, on this landscape mode version of the iPhone, our view is also the width of the screen, which doesn't look very good because you can't see the image. And even with the scroll view, you're not able to see the whole image at once. That's not what we want. So now we're going to set our orientation of our prototype device to landscape. And we can see the problem here in the prototype window too. So I'm going to click on Vary for Traits again. This time, you'll notice the height is compact and the width is regular. I'm going to check height because we want what we do next to happen for the compact height orientation. Now I'm going to, once again, control drag from my image view to my view, and I want it to have an equal height. This is going to make the image as tall as the view, so you'll be able to see the entire thing. Here's our new constraint, beverage image u.height equals 2.1558 times the height. It sets it to whatever the prototype is showing at the time, and so you can change the multiplier, once again by clicking on the constraint on the left and then editing it on the right. So I'm going to hit enter there. And what you'll notice is that now the image is fully visible in landscape mode. So let's give the app a run and see how this looks. So now I should be able to see the entire image no matter what my orientation is. And I should be able to scroll to see the text if my stack is too tall for my view. So here we are in landscape mode. We could see the image, which is nice. And then we can scroll down and see our beautiful labels. Now, if we rotate the device up, we can still see our entire lemonade picture, which is exactly what we were looking for. Now, this part's important. When you finish doing trait variations, you have to remember to hit the Done Varying button. They make it blue, but it's still surprisingly easy to forget. Otherwise, any additional constraints you set will only be true for whatever variation you're currently on Vary for Traits in.